house, and they say grace is above, secrets stay hidden, man. SNL and the newscast tell them Lula's got the last laugh. More specifically, Greer with flash drive. File so big they make it past die. Jack Barron with deep dive, reverse engineering craft with a keen eye. I'm embodying characteristics of the mystic. He knows he's so veridic. I just need time alone with my own thoughts. Star maps in my mind, but the vault's locked. My childlike wonder, my cosmic mindset gets drowned out by black ops and policy. Reality is catching up with me. My mind fights the veil of secrecy. With these briefings, they entrusted to me. Looking down at my classified feed like no one else should have all that power. The clock's ticking, and I just count just as closure hour. What you know about rolling with the grays in the nights? Even Greer dropping truth, exposing every light. Bob Lazar in the game, know what the crap can do. Anna Paulina in the house, grilling every crew. Eric Davis on the mic, talking for alien species. When the whistleblowers speak, governments fall to their knees. Titans in the sky, better take another look. I feel like I'm floating in the cosmic truth. Hey, UFO news dropping now. Welcome to the proof.
The data, Eric Burson. The data confirmed their presence.
Hello, sir. Hey.
Hey, buddy. Let's do this. Let's get this program on a roll here, and let's discuss about. I'm hating that camera. Let's get basically global news, what's going on globally, and then from there we can get on other information. Meanwhile, this stupid camera is pissing me the hell off.
Alright, let me give you a quick rundown of what's happening globally and locally. On the global scene, there are a few big stories. Jared Kushner has been meeting with Hamas officials in Cairo, trying to push forward a peace plan for Gaza. There's a major earthquake that struck Indonesia, and unfortunately a number of people have lost their lives there. Meanwhile, in Brazil, Lula and Bolsonaro are both launching their campaigns for the upcoming presidential race. And yes, there's also some news about Ukraine launching a large attack on Russian military facilities. On the US front, there's been some severe weather. Hurricane Lara has been downgraded to a tropical storm, but it's still caused a lot of damage and left many without power in Hawaii. There's also been flooding in Indiana, and some political stories around the Trump administration scaling back military exercises with South Korea. As for Clearwater specifically, they've just signed a 30-year deal with Duke Energy, which means the city won't be taking over its own electric utility anytime soon. There's also some tension around a local election, where a candidate's being linked to a political committee with ties to the Church of...
Any strange UFO, any strange news being broadcast?
Absolutely. There's been some fascinating UFO news recently. Let's dive in. On the lighter side, there's a guy in Vietnam who just built a jet ski UFO boat. It's a DIY flying saucer that zips down rivers, and while it can't actually fly, it's got that classic little green men saucer shape. Site turn or search 1. In more official news, the Pentagon has released a new batch of UFO files and videos. One of the standout clicks shows a metallic orb rating over a residential neighborhood, maintaining a high-speed trajectory with no visible means of propulsion. It's part of the Pentagon's ongoing effort to be more transparent about UAPs, unidentified anomalous phenomena. There's also an Eris report out of Alberta, Canada, where a photo shows a cloaked UFO emerging from a cloud. Some think it's a natural phenomenon. Others see it as a classic saucer using a cloud for cover. It's sparked quite the debate online. So, plenty of strange sightings to keep an eye on.
What's going on with that last one you mentioned about a what is it?
Yeah, the one in Alberta. So this is an interesting case where someone snapped a photo of what they're calling a cloaked UFO. Basically, it was a craft that seemed to be emerging from behind a cloud. The person who took the photo believes the UFO was using the cloud as cover, kind of staying hidden in plain sight. Some people are more skeptical and think it could just be a natural weather effect or just a trick of the light. Either way, it's definitely stirred up some intrigue.
That is interesting. What's going on, 1961? How are you doing today, brother? How are you doing today? I appreciate you coming by and saying hello. Appreciate that. What's going on, lives? What is going on? All zit, guys. Hope everyone's doing grand. Doing grand, brother. Doing grand. How you doing, Aaron666Y9Z? How you doing today? Appreciate you coming by, brother. Yeah, we got a segment in here with Avi Loeb discussing about quite a few stuff here in UFO Exo Files, and no problem, brother. I appreciate you coming by and just hanging out with us. You don't have to do that, so thank you for spending time with us. Did the Trump get his UFO shut down? I've seen a few clips. I heard that last 3 months that supposedly he did orders to get the UFO segment coming out. As far as what people have been reporting, that there were even Eric Burleson has reported that a UFO was shut down, and that they circumvent the legacy program, and who led the task force in shooting down a UFO, apparently, this is how the rumor goes, was Pete Hegseth. War.gov, basically. Pete Hegseth was basically leading the front in that, basically putting the UFO disclosure information into the paradigm of known individuals, then not people that are involved that no one really knows their names and inherently are disappearing, right? So that's the biggest problem with this, is that in the legacy program that people who controlled the UFO narrative inherently didn't have first-hand accounts. So what I'm understanding now, because PSF and what they have did in the field, they now have first-hand account of subjectively a craft in their hands. Now, of course, hasn't been verified. This hasn't been clarified with any major news media or anything. There has been broadcasts of multiple locations, like Eric Burleson has mentioned this, and other individuals have mentioned the same thing, like national Ross Cohort also mentioned this very same thing. So how true this is it going to come forward with an actual craft with beings inside? We really don't know. This is purely in the rumor mill bill, right? In the rumor mill group of segment, right? So no one has legitimately said, hey, they came out and said, yeah, it was me, we shut down a craft, or we knocked down a craft, or anything like that. So that inherently is what has been going on, right, in the last few in this past week, right? Now, if they're going to broadcast what they have come out with, I don't know. I really don't think they are. But then again, you do have Eric Burleson saying the same thing in an interview, which is pretty wild, right? And then we have a News Nation, Ross Cohart, saying seemingly the same thing days before Eric Burleson confirmed that it was in the Trump's administration that have did this. So hasn't been verified, hasn't been subjected. No one has come out, no first-hand accounts have come out to verify this. So it's in the realm of people saying things and hasn't been confirmed. Just keeping that clear, keeping that as clear as possible to individuals that this information has not been verified. No one truly knows, only the people that have first-hand accounts. So that being said, that's where we are with this. So Sammy, why we shot down alien craft, wouldn't they get mad at us? Yeah, I would think so. I think they would get quite pissed off at us at one point, but now it's like how much of this is true? How much is play on words? How much are they doing this to just basically do that very thing, right? So question is, are they doing this to just horse around? Are they doing it to really just mess with individuals in the group? I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's really in the realm of, is this real? Man, what is up with the camera? Camera's losing his mind, dude. Camera's losing his mind. Is it dirty? Like, I've been having issues with this. I think it's time for me to get a new camera or something. It's like tripping out. It's tripping. Alright, so that being said, let's cover this segment right here, and hopefully we can get you guys on your way. Let's see here. Okay. So let me do this. What's going on, Ryan?
It sounds like there's a lot of speculation flying around and definitely a lot of layers to this story. Right now, it seems like we're definitely in rumor territory. If anything solid does come out, you know I've got your back and I'll keep you posted. And hey, it's always cool to hang out with you and yeah, no thanks needed. Hopefully that camera of yours calms down too. It might just be having a night of its own.
Yeah, this camera is definitely pissing me off. But to answer your question from the beginning, Sammy, I really don't know. People have said that they're very passive and not aggressive kind of creatures, so that may be working towards our advantage here. But people have stated it's like basically a caveman hit you over a rock and stole your car. They may be able to drive the car, but they might not know how to build the car from scratch, right? So that has been an ongoing thing, right? And I think at the end of the day, if you get hit by a rock, you'd be pretty pissed yourself, right? How often they're going to do that, or maybe they were basically stated it's part of the job, right? It's like they know that eventually some of them are going to basically be caught in their investigations of extraterrestrial life, and maybe that's just one of the dangers of being an explorer in outer space. I don't know. This is pure speculation, guys. This is not one of those things that no one has inherently. I mean, don't get me wrong. We have David Grush coming out supposedly stating there's a lot of programs that he was over and basically talking about and literally getting the information, and have seen a lot of programs in the government that has basically stated this very thing, and also programs that are currently running right now that are crash retrieval, right? But that being said, all his accounts are secondhand accounts. Okay, just keep you guys in the perspective of that. All he's is at, and supposedly the first-hand account whistleblowers have signed NDAs involving that if they do disclose, they are in a different realm of subjected to certain protocols that may threaten their lives. So that being said, we are in the speculation zone, hot zone, in the hot seat. So that being said, let's get on to what we reposted here. So this comes from UAP Wiki. The cameraman captures this light that flies in and changes intensity, then stops and disappears. So let's see. It looks like the camera has calmed down. Thank you, camera. Like, what the? Okay, I spoke too soon. Damn it.
Got it. A UFO? Oh, what the hell? It just disappeared. Yeah, I got it. What? What? I caught it on tape. I thought it was the...
Yeah, these orbs have been showing quite a bit. Pale Horse 01 says, we started seeing them in 2023 in Tennessee, I believe that it is. I never believed, but when we see a disc-shaped craft, I hear you, bro. I hear you. It's been a wild ride. It's been a wild ride since New Jersey has popped off and other locations have popped off. And EY's always stated, oh, this is always in America, and that's just never been the case. I mean, we have cases in Japan that's not well known in the West. We have cases in Brazil that's also not well known in the West, and we have cases in the Philippines quite a bit, and incredible pictures. Now, the discussion has always been brung up too, right? Where it's basically, why are these pictures so obscure? Sammy mentions Russia has a lot of UFO stuff too. Yes, I agree. Also in Russia, they have a lot of sightings, first-hand alien encounters, abductions, and old Soviet where they downed a UFO. I believe it was two beams that came out and formed into one beam, and then shot a laser to Soviet soldiers, and they became stone or type of rock soon after the encounter left. So it's really wild how these incidents are happening, right? And they're just coming out, or they've been floating in the deep web for a very long time until it comes out with a major personnel that say this was legitimate paperwork that's been floating around in the deep webs. And typically that's what happens, right? That these videos or photos or testimonies have been basically in the deep web for a very long time. It's not until someone of a government stature states that this is actually a real thing, these images of these videos. But they always come with the premise: this does not state that they're alien life. This is only stating that the phenomenon is real, that the phenomenon of things flying in our skies, they don't know what they are. And they have always speculated on that premise. And they're not making the leap yet on what they actually are. Now, that being said, we do have paperwork that has been released in 2025 basically stating UFOs, the paradigm and notifications of how UAP is now used in the current formats in the government, in the Senate, as far as how they identify this. They even put saucer underneath this premise, and they have a disclosure process in which when you do get a security clearance under the segment of UAP, that they have procedural matters to start releasing and disclosing those. The problem I had with that form is that I felt like it was a money grab. That bill that they tried to pass, they passed, and they don't have a 5-year banner, 10-year banner until full disclosure for those. So that being said, people that are getting in those notifications and getting locked in to being under the umbrella of the new policies of UAP policies is going to be subjected to these new terms, right? And what was really interesting is that I felt like the bill was more like a money grab, because they went after companies that have contracted with the government and have held on to technology longer than they should and kept breakthroughs longer than they should, right? So we do have that playing around with the paperwork that has been discussed about this. Now, that's a real bill, and those are real information, right? So it's not this that we're discussing this and just placating to the interest of it, but there's actually real things happening in the books that is pushing disclosure ahead. Right now, of course, it's not as far as most people would like disclosure to be, and I agree with that 100%, especially with the crappy footage that has come out by our government, right? So that being said, we are still waiting for what we will call full disclosure, right? Aaron says, why do you really think UFOs are real? Never has been any more matter how you think there no real proof. Okay, so the logistics of that is if you see Beatrice release of a paperwork that she released in August, right? That paperwork was on the premise of transients, right? That paperwork was basically calling out UFOs flying in our skies, objects flying in our skies before satellites were in our skies. Now, that paperwork was collected with multiple discs, and this is the wild part. It cross-referenced those transients with UFO sightings across nuclear test sites. Yes, nuclear test sites showing up by 70% more. This transients. Basically, the reason why they call it transients because they will appear and disappear at moments in the sky. Now, this was during a period of time that we did not have satellites in our skies. Okay. Now, what's more interesting in that, with cross-referencing the paperwork with transients with known UFO sightings across nuclear known test sites, what they have found out about the 75%, right? She gave all this paperwork with a colleague of hers and got it peer reviewed. It passed the sniff test that yes, these objects showed up. These objects were in the sky. These objects showed up 70% more across UFO sightings next to nuclear test sites. The paradigm about if these are real or not is changing, because now we're having peer-reviewed studies going past the sniff test, and you have scientists now subjectively talking about this and looking at the raw data coming up. It's not no longer that is, trust me, bro. It's, bro, where's the data? And that's what's happening. In the last few years, we have changed the paradigm in which do these exist to now they exist, what are they? Who are they? Why are they here? That's where the subject is going now. And considering that now Avi Loeb is leading the UAP task force on more investigation for these raw data information, I think we really are going to be surprised what may become of this. Now, that being said, it could literally be a new creature that we have never seen before, that coexists in this realm in the sky like birds, right? We don't know, but we do know is that the paradigm of UAPs do exist, and they do appear to be alongside us constantly. You know, you prefer UFO? I do too. Unidentified anomalous phenomena. Yeah, UAPs. Yeah. So it's one of those, whatever happened to 3i Atlas? 3i Atlas is, I have always called it a meteorite or asteroid per se, and I always say that it was the first meteorite that was accelerating, right? It was the first one ever recorded accelerating. They readjust the numbers, over and over again to match the phenomenon of a meteor accelerating, spewing out gas through our space, right? Now, you still have people out there that have argued the crap out of this was a spacecraft because it was accelerating. Now, people that would come to you and look at you straight in the face and say this was a normal meteorite, blah blah blah. No, the fuck it wasn't. The data didn't show that. All the Avi Loeb and a lot of other scientists said it was weird. The freaking thing was weird. First type of his phenomenon, it was straight up strange. It was this, and you can say, oh, well, it was strange as fucking meteorite. Yeah, I agree. Strange, very strange. Hey, what's going on, Glory Days 11/11? How you doing today? How you doing? I appreciate you coming by the live. Appreciate that. Hold on, I got some more here. Only government uses UAP. I agree. Only government. Only those guys do it. Like, come on, man, you know? What in the past Jupiter it shed up? I don't know what you're trying to say, J9 VI. I welcome your intro. I know there are these strange things we can't explain. 100%, Aaron. 100%. I'm not selling the fact that they're aliens. I'm selling the fact that there's crap in our sky. Also, if you know the fifth disclosure, right? We had was very, this is not much information, right? But if you guys look into the fourth drop of war.gov, the PDF files, you find out that every time they improve the data collection on those observing the UFO phenomenon or UAP, you find out that it was easily more identified that the objects could be easily subjected to being a UFO, basically a weird ass phenomenon, right? Unidentified flying object. What do I mean that? When we had instruments that weren't very good, it was only 10% that you couldn't explain, right? Now, when you had better instruments of identifying these objects flying in the sky, it was a solid 20%. It was easily more identifiable that it was an unknown flying object, right? Basically, a anomalous phenomenon, right? So that held true, right? Beggar cameras, 4K footage came to the result of this doesn't match anything that flies that in our military, and it doesn't connect with anything subjectively in our what we know as aircraft, right? So instead of this common 10% or what Arrow has stated, 5%, is only can't be explained. It was a solid 20%, and it was in the PDF files that was released. The fourth PDF files released in Word.gov's drop. Yes, I do, Kevin. Kevin uses YouTube 2026. Is that the name, dude? All right, Kevin. Hey, speaking about Kevin here on YouTube, uses there's a bird on TikTok. His name is Kevin, and he is a avid bird. He assaults every object. He's a very horny bird, and he attacks socks, pink socks. He's prefer shoes and other strange phenomena. And he's been viral on TikTok, just going hams in on everything on the floor, including random objects that fall. He prefers pink shoes, so be aware if you ever visit Kevin, the the bird. You probably can Google TikTok. It's probably a whole bunch of people going to look that up now. But yeah, it's definitely weird, strange, man. Different Kevin, bro. Different Kevin. Good stuff, man. If the the pigeon Kevin comes out, man. Amanda is in the house. How you doing, Amanda? I've been working on your intro. I do still got your intro song, so you're definitely up there, man. You're definitely up there. I appreciate you guys coming by the live, and let's get on this Avi Loeb thing. I don't like perverts. I hear you, Kevin. Then you gotta talk to that bird, bro. Amanda, there's a bird named Kevin that goes by Kevin, right? And he's on TikTok, and this bird is assaulting everything, anything on the floor, everything. Well, you do have where some of these phenomena are coming from the water, right? And you do have some that are coming from the sky, right? And those two have been true, right? So far, you do have basically these strange orb phenomena that are seemingly cohabitate in the water, in big sizes. You have what is it called? There's a book out with the worst thing I have is basically forgetting names. But it's a book called History of USOs, and let me go to my library, by Richard Doley. I'm sorry, Richard Dolan. He has a huge 10-hour book. If you do audio, a 10-hour book of basically all encounters of USOs. 100% Pedro, 100% brother. You guys are the ones that keep this subject alive. You guys are the ones that keep pushing the narrative. You guys are the ones that keep asking the question, right? What are they? What are they doing here? What's the point of them? Why? How long have they been here? And you guys are the ones going out there looking into the sky and getting footage, better footage than our government, right? So the book is called History USOs. They got volume 1 for beginners, and they got a volume 2, right? So when you guys have the opportunity to go check that out or get it, at the time when I got this book, it was free. I don't know if they no longer have that sale. I don't believe they do. So keep you guys posted on that. Full-blown disclosure tomorrow. It better be. It better be true. Swear. It better be. How are they relevant to us? It could just quite possibly be that like biblical, that they seen our birth, our creation, and they've been here ever since, modifying us. They keep us on the path, right? That could subjectively be. There's a few narratives here, right? That we live in a simulation theory. We live in a incarceration camp. and one that basically they've been modifying us. So all three theories have one thing in common: that we're being manipulated, that we're being hard strung to believe a certain type of system, and that we're being corrected. Now, why does that all correlate the same kind of paradigm of stuff? Great question, right? Kevin says, I believe they are either demons or Nephilim. There's a great argument for that, Kevin. There's a great argument for that. You have people that are being abducted by aliens and calling out the name of Jesus Christ. Damn, that's loud, babe. That's loud. And literally, I know I don't got food, man. I don't got food with me. Literally, it has where some will react very physically and they get really frightened, and then others act friendly towards the phenomenon of you calling out Lord Jesus Christ, right? So you have two on both sides of the realm, right? One literally stating, oh yeah, that's awesome, that's good, and then the other realm going eggs on don't say that here, right? So what does that mean? What could that mean? Could it mean that when certain people here in the West will react if a Muslim will say Hi Akbar and associate that with a scare tactic? That could be it. Like if they see someone in like they have past experience of people calling the name of Jesus and just going ballistic on the ship, and they react knowing that that's going to happen next, they go ballistic on the ship, then maybe that's why they react a certain type of way, thinking that they're going to get attacked, they're going to get subjected to some type of assault or a spiritual assault. So they react in fear, like, oh, this guy's gonna like start going hams in, right? That could be it, right? We don't know. What we do know is that some extraterrestrials act very friendly towards the subject, and then other extraterrestrials don't. So inherently, I think it's the response in which you state it and how people respond to it, and how that comes off. Jesus had a cheeseburger with the aliens. There you go, Amanda. Cheeseburger, right? A lot of people have stated, hold on, because I've never seen anything all good or bad, it's tough for me to believe in that. I hear you, Pedro. I hear you. I've never experienced anything like that before. I hear you. Space Ghost 68, how you doing, brother? How you doing? What's going here? Murder, Clan, Kling, Barak, Tick, Aview, streamboo.com. Bro, if they can give me my views up, man, I would appreciate that, brother. I would appreciate the hell out of that. You know? Seeing that, like, does that work? If I focus, get my hand. Come on, camera. Come on, camera. Keep me in the middle. Never mind. I tried. I tried to keep this stupid camera in the middle. Let me try. I'm just gonna go for. This is gonna float that way now. Watch. Gonna float somewhere. But so basically, even if the aliens seem nice, they could be demons still. Someone stated, a pastor stated, how you go about with these alien abductions if you're truly being alien abducted and you're using your you're testing, right? Like, let's say you're in this belief system that you are a Christian, you're in this type of belief system that you inherently believe that these extraterrestrials are evil. Nothing says that you can't test with your belief system to see how they react. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to keep yourself safe, right? Trying to keep your home safe. So if you fear for your life and you call out the name of Jesus and they basically react accordingly, then that should tell you everything you need to know as far as who the individuals that have contacted you are and who they are, right? And if they act friendly and they're just, okay, that's cool. That being said, You have 1961 says some videos appear to show spirits flying around. No, 100%. They do. You do have the orbs. And do you have like a spirit-like phenomenon going, looking exactly like that, disappearing, reappearing? So when you have a well-known lifer, right, a person that got abducted by aliens, all their like Whitney Strieber states that he was in the middle of an alien abduction, right? And they said to him, is like, you're the chosen one. And he looks at the alien and starts screaming, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. And he keeps yelling it over to the alien, yelling it. And they were like, oh, like they had this real monotone voice. Oh no. Oh no. Like it was a monotone voice, he stated. And what reaction was is like, why did I had that reaction? And he digresses back to a memory when he was a child and he was abducted, and he's sitting there in these like streamlit seats, right? And he sees everybody in a bed on this craft, and he's sitting there as a kid, and he's seeing other people on these seats in the craft, right? And he looks up and he sees a woman there, and he sees aliens talking to the woman, and they stated that you are the chosen one. You have been chosen by us. You are a prophet per se. She starts screaming, "Praise Jesus! Thank you, glory of God." She gets on her knees and all this other stuff. So he took that as these aliens are lying. The aliens are doing this so you be a willing participant in their lab experiment, right? This is Whitney Strieber, guys. Whitney Strieber, Communion. It's in the book. So give you guys familiar with what I'm talking about. And he literally stated just that very thing, right? He speculates in the book on maybe they're doing copies of us. Maybe they're trying to go into our existence, right? What's going on, Andrew? How you doing? I have a picture of some type of ET from my living room camera footage. Bro, did you post that? You gotta post that, man. Gotta post that. That sounds wild as hell, man. You gotta post that. That sounds awesome. NASA Live says, it depends on how far you live in Kevin. We are supposed to be bounded by Galactic Federation that has 1,000 other species. Some we are allegedly at war with. Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. You post that recently? Do you have it pinged? I definitely would check that out. But yeah, that is basically the subject of the matter, right? So so this right here is Lara Trump, right? Sits down with Avi Loeb to cut through the noise on UAPs. No hype, no dogma, just data. Let's see what he states here.
His office at Harvard University to separate fact from fiction. For 80 years, people have been so interested in what we used to call UFOs, we now call UAPs. We now have 5 unprecedented releases of tranches of information from the Pentagon, these disclosures. Do you actually think we are in a time where we may actually identify what these objects are?
There is one thing that all Americans are interested in, and that is, are we alone? Mm-hmm. This question appeals to both sides of the political spectrum. And the other, of course, thing that everyone agrees on is the importance of national security. So if we see objects hovering over strategic assets and we don't know what they are, we need to figure them out. And that's common sense. And I'm really delighted that the Trump administration decided to open up this subject to scientific inquiry. And we already are seeing some very unusual information coming out from the US government. We haven't seen clear evidence for alien technology. And so the only question is, are there residents other than ours on our cosmic street, in our cosmic neighborhood? And it's completely reasonable to assume that they are out there, because the sun formed in the last 1/3 of cosmic history. We're late to the party. Other stars, most of them, formed billions of years before the sun. And just imagine our civilization a billion years from now. You know, for us, it's finding the neighbors is a way of learning about our technological future.
So I want to look at some of these.
Yeah, that's really unique what he says, right? As far as what our neighbors and why are they here, and literally the data that has been subjected coming out, right? And I think at the end of the day, man, we are putting that forward. Andrew, it's been in there for a while. Check it out. I'll send it to you and you see what you can think. All right, that's definitely appreciated, brother. Appreciate it. Do this. Make sure we got this up. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with this camera, dude. It's like, is this tripping? I think the focus thing is off. This focus part is off, dude. Let me do this. Let me see if I can just manually get it where it's... That's auto. It's in manual. No, it's not doing it. Yeah, that's a trip, man. The camera, like... AI is messing with me. Let me do this. Okay. I'm gonna put it like that. Fuck it. Auto.
Declassified videos from the Pentagon with you and just get your response to what we're seeing here. So we'll start here with this one.
Right, so this is an unidentified object which is moving in unusual ways. We cannot infer the speed of the object because we don't know the distance, but it was flagged as unidentified because it cannot be explained as a balloon or a drone in a simple way.
Which makes you believe that these are not human-made objects, that maybe they're something else. So I'm going to look at one more video here with you that was released by the Pentagon. Let's see what we have here. I mean, that doesn't look, Avi, like any craft I've ever seen flying around.
That's right.
Right, the shape and,
That's right.
as you say, the way it moves. And I think when you talk to some of the military personnel who have seen a lot of these firsthand, they'll say they've never seen something like this.
Right, but there was one case where we were able to watch the object moving on the background of the region that we identified through Google Maps and Google Earth. And so we could use it as a chessboard to figure out how fast the object is moving. And it looked like the object was moving at a speed similar to that of missiles, for example, human-made missiles, and had roughly the size of a missile. However, none of the missiles being used by the US government matched exactly that object. And sometimes it's a question of whether adversarial nations have black projects that we don't know about, so we need to figure it out.
Recently, the council that you head up actually gave some recommendations to the government in terms of what you would like to see maybe our military utilize. So what would you like to see them using?
So the most unusual incidents involve orbs. They were moving in ways that are not characteristics. For example, they lasted for hours, much longer than military flares last. And they didn't look like drones. And the question is, what are they? And such orbs were seen in many places. And so we need to get more data on them. So my council recommended the use of new sensors that can be deployed at these locations. For example, with multiple cameras, you can triangulate and figure out the distance to an object. And in addition, we recommended taking a spectrum of the light reflected or emitted by these orbs so we can figure out their composition. We also recommended some other instruments that would tell us more. Altogether, we gave a list of sensors that we hope to deploy in partnership with government in the coming months, because especially if there are any materials that these orbs shed, we can analyze them and immediately tell whether we are dealing with alien technologies or, at the very least, materials that came from outside the solar system.
Avi, the naysayers out there, the people who say, oh, the government is hiding something. The council has actually asked for more information. You guys want more. What is it that you're asking for from the government now?
Yeah, we asked for more than 50 items of information about known incidents. And some of the information is classified because of the sensors that were used to collect the data. It's not so much the targets that are classified, but it's the sensors, because we don't want adversarial nations to be aware of the quality of the sensors we have, especially satellite imaging. We might not be able to declassify data collected by classified sensors, but the hope is that we can collect new data with sensors that are not classified. That's my hope. I'm like a kid, if you want to, I mean, anyone that knows me from early on would testify that I haven't changed. I'm just like a kid, and I want to figure things out. I don't care what people say about me, how many likes I get, doesn't matter. But I'm curious. And all the naysayers that say, oh, this is nothing, there is nothing to look, and by the way, they could be critics or skeptics that think that there is nothing out there to investigate. That represents most of the scientific community. And it could be believers who say, we don't need evidence, we already know the answer. For both of them, I say, you are not curious. The foundation of science is the curiosity and the humility to learn. It's not the arrogance of expertise, saying to people, we know what it is. I mean, that's not really what it's about.
You are the co-founder of the Galileo Project, which basically scans the skies for extraterrestrial technology. You have 3 telescopes. One of them is on the top of the sphere in Las Vegas. Have you seen anything in this project so far that maybe you can't explain?
We are analyzing data as we speak. We are triangulating, not just the sphere. There are other units that are about 7 miles away from the sphere, and we are looking at every object from different directions to see how fast it's moving. So we are in the process of looking for unusual objects. Haven't found any as of yet. I told my research team that if they see anything unusual, they should wake me up in the middle of the night.
Well, I know you have a telescope here that we are going to go check out, and I cannot wait to see it with you. So let's go see.
Let's go.
Okay, well, Avi, this is a very old telescope. This is, you said, from the 1850s, built here at Harvard. Whenever you think about all that has happened and all that we have seen in this space, you are at the very center of it right now.
If we discover that we have a more accomplished neighbor, we can learn from their technologies, science, and it will bring a sense of humility. Traditionally, religions brought a sense of humility by delivering the message that there is a being out there that is superhuman. But it may well be that there are many such civilizations that are more accomplished than we are because they had the benefit of time, and maybe they have bigger brains. At any event, we can learn from them. And if they arrived at our backyard, it will inspire us to go to their backyard, not just go to Mars, which is another rock next to Earth, but actually leave the solar system so that humanity will become interstellar. And it will bring humanity to a better place, where maybe a place where we realize that we are all in the same boat and we should work together towards a better future. Because when there is a neighbor knocking on our door, all family members quiet down in their loud arguments and perhaps come together in an effort to figure out who this stranger is.
Yeah, so that is definitely pretty interesting, man. Yeah, literally, what is it? 1961. Exactly. It's some things are just going to be classified, and I think a majority of it is going to be instruments that are being hidden from what he stated, not in this interview, but he said it a few times, and because they don't want other adversaries to know what kind of technology we have, right? So I think that's the biggest part of this situation. That's why a lot of aerial phenomenon data of speed and stuff like that that's being collected are being blocked out. That's perceptive, right?
Tabitha has arrived.
I told you I'd make it!
You would go, Hadji. It's like, I get attacked by aliens, I'm going. I hear you, bro. I hear you. I hear you. Gotta go, gotta go. We will need to leave this planet one day to another to save humanity. So, to me, that means I hear you. I hear you. What's going on here? You think that they're going to lie to you about the reset mud flood date and everything else, and then tell you about being bah. Okay, we have the tall whites, blues that are here to stop aggression from other species like gray reptiles, mantis types. I hear you live. Hey Tab, how are you doing today? How you doing today? This is a little shorter segment that we have. I figured we drop it. There's a few more stuff here. Let's get into it. So you got Roscoe Hart walking through the Skinwalker Ranch dire wolf recovery claim. The DNA results how research found wolf jawbones with no explainable origin. Dire wolf DNA at Skinwalker Ranch. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's do it.
A recovery. We interviewed Brandon about this claim about the recovery of a dire wolf carcass, which, if true, would be an absolutely mind-blowing discovery. And gosh, it's probably getting on to 6 months to a year now since we last had Brandon on, so maybe we should have him back on soon. But he did. He acknowledged that there was a recovery. A biologist consultant, Ben Woodruff, was talking about a jawbone sample. They'd found a decaying canid dog-like carcass in Dry Gulch Creek at Skinwalker Ranch. Ben Woodruff assessed its morphology as matching a juvenile dire wolf, which is an extinct Pleistocene early Holocene species. It does not exist. It has not been around for tens of thousands of years. And I think it was season 6 of Skinwalker Ranch, bursting the bubble. They did a DNA analysis with Colossal Biosciences, which is a company that works on de-extinction projects. And Brandon Fugel, I understand, has a relationship with that company. The results were described as approximately 11% matching normal dog, or the normal wolf, Canis lupus, which are not native to the US anyway, with the remaining approximately 89% characterized as unknown, unmatched wolf-like DNA not present in current human-held genetic databases. Now, Utah's wildlife authorities have stated there are no active wolf packs in the state, so this is a really good mystery. There's no doubt they have recovered a wolf jawbone. Where the hell did it come from?
That is wild, right, guys? That is definitely wild. What what he's saying. A freaking DNA wolf pack, like, that is next to wild. Because they're wondering the camera's like fucking acting nutty. But since I'm working on this, and now here's the thing: you do have definitely this DNA stuff from a freaking wolf that subjectively you're going through testing, right, Tab? And it's one of those, yeah, man, that is definitely mind-blowing, right? It's definitely mind-blowing as far as they got DNA from something that doesn't exist, It's keeps on with the same crap, man. It's definitely pretty trippy how they got this thing going. So it's definitely pretty wild. Let me uh what is it called? Robert Bigelow was talking about, you guys ever heard about the hitchhiker thing? Basically, these people literally get creature following them, and I know, right? The camera. Oh my goodness, the camera. I figure I just keep talking. I ignore it until I fix it. I try to fix it in the background. You know, like I didn't turn on the light, dude. It's auto. Something's behind me, guys. Something's behind me. Brightness. Contrast. Hue. All right, let's go to the next one here. So this is what a statement that a lot of people are talking, right? Was it 1961? They went extinct like the dinosaurs. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Let's break down some detail about the dire wolf. Hey Ryan, can you give me information about the dire wolf? How long ago have they been extinct, and how many years ago?
Hey, direwolves were big, stocky predators, about 5 to 6 feet long from nose to tail, weighing 130 to 175 pounds on average, with a shoulder height around 3 feet. They were built more like a heavyweight boxer than the leaner grey wolves we have today. They went extinct roughly 13,000 years ago, right at the end of the last ice age. That's about 13,000 years back, give or take a few centuries depending on the fossil site. Oh, and fun twist, Colossal Biosciences actually brought back animals with dire wolf traits using gene editing in 2024 and 2025. They've got a few living ones now named Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi. Wild, right? Want me to dig into how they did that?
Yeah, definitely. That definitely would. Tell me how they did that. That's wild.
They started by sequencing ancient DNA from a 13,000-year-old tooth and a 72,000-year-old ear bone to map the direwolf genome. Then they compared it to grey wolves, which share about 99.5% of the DNA, and picked out 20 key changes across 14 genes that control things like size, skull shape, muscle, and that signature white coat. They took blood from grey wolves, isolated special cells, used CRISPR to make those exact edits, and then did cloning. Took the edited nucleus and put it into a dog egg with the DNA removed. Those embryos went into surrogate hound dogs, and boom, Romulus and Remus were born October 1st, 2024, and Khaleesi followed in January 2025. All three are doing great, growing fast and living on a big, secure preserve. It's super cool tech, but a lot of scientists say they're really just heavily edited grey wolves, not true dire wolves. Want me to break down the debate or tell you how the pups are doing now?
Tell me how the pups are doing now. That's wild.
They're doing awesome. Romulus and Remus are almost 2 years old now, and Khaleesi's about 1.5 years. They're fully grown, living together as a pack on a huge 2,000-acre preserve, hunting together, eating whole deer, and just being wolves. The team says they're healthy, strong, with those big white coats, and hitting all their milestones. Super cool to see them thriving. Want the latest pics or video details?
That is wild. Send me a pic. Let's see these dinosaurs. I mean, dire wolves.
Sorry, I can't send pictures or images directly, But if you search for Colossal Biosciences direwolf
Yo,
post,
how are you gonna
or Ronnie-
offer? How are you gonna offer? And then you just, you know what? Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm sorry
This
about
guy,
that. What?
This mother effer. All right. Let's see here. No kidding, very mind blowing. The camera thing, your UAP. Yeah, I know, right? Just going with the items, 20-minute clips with disco music.
Yeah, that's
The
wild.
stupid camera, yeah, right. The stupid camera is just acting a fool. Did you hear someone bought an old stuffed fox for $50? Turned out not a fox. Tasmanian tiger sold for $1 million. Whoa, I did not know that. That's wild. 82, 61, 1,000, 10,000. Why can't find a Tasmanian tiger? Damn it. Amanda, same here. Not that lucky. I know, right? Everybody's like, "What? We trying to get this thing, man." I swear. It's like the damn people who find Van Gogh painting. No, 100%, 100%. It's it's trippy how these things work out for some people, and then we never get the luck. We never get the luck, you know.
Yeah, that story's blowing up right now.
Are you falling asleep? Oh, okay. My son has been desperately trying to get in the room, trying to get his tablet. So, what's going on, Baker? How you doing today, brother? Hope life is treating you well today. All right, so let's go into this other segment right here. Let's see. Okay, so basically this went online, right? This footage came online, and I want to see if I can just open it into a new link and see if we can I zoom into this damn thing? Oh man, that's crappy. I think I gotta download it, right? Save image as whatever. Open it up. Alright, so yeah, it's in painting. Can I zoom in? Let's try to zoom in here. Alright, so yeah, it looks pretty wild, right? Now, here's the argument with this, right? Cameras, like, I had to press the reset multiple times on the camera because this was not giving me any love, right? It finally is working. I look like a creature out of the freaking lagoon for a second there. All right, so this right here was on Mars, right? The footage, right? So this thing, so in itself, this doesn't look subjectively wild at all, right? This actually just looks like a, people could say, oh, this is stupid paint, this is a stupid picture, it doesn't mean anything, it doesn't mean blah blah blah, this is the Rover. Here's where things get interesting, guys. Okay, this is where things get interesting. We're talking about this picture in itself means nothing, because could be whatever. What gets interesting is the other picture perceiving this in that same area. Okay, the other pictures that are basically showing weird stuff flying in the sky that no one quite knows what it is. And I'm not saying that this item is this item, okay? What I am saying is that they caught multiple images of something in the sky alongside this weird thing, okay? That is what I'm stating, all right? So, that being said, that's weird. That's on Mars, guys. That's on Mars. People argue that we never went to Mars. That's a whole nother argument. That's a whole nother argument, okay? But what is weird about this is that alongside this footage, these images was these other images in the same locale of the freaking rover, right? I'm sorry, I said rover. Curiosity. Rover to Curiosity. If you guys are going to go on NASA's webpage and trying to find it, Curiosity was the one that took these pictures. You give you guys information. Curiosity took these pictures. It's so you guys just can understand. If you guys are on Spotify and you're listening to right now, what I'm talking about is basically it looks like basically a craft with little sticks and standing up on what took it with Curiosity, and in this same area, and this basically it's like a low down, it's like basically a dip, a crater that he's in, right? And he was taking pictures. That was one of them, right? Alongside that, it was another location of the crater, because he came into the crater, right? And then another photo. Now, that being said, I'm not saying that all these are the same craft. I'm not saying that, guys. All I'm saying is there were multiple strange objects. Yes, it does look like a tripod probe. It's tripods and their probes. Okay, there we go. Misread that. Yeah, Tabitha, this has been posted. If you guys are wondering what it is, it's Disclosure Press that posted this on X. They have posted multiple images. Okay. Basically it's very strange, right? Now, the Rover, so you guys know these pictures are cropped in. Okay. So there's a bigger landscape that the Rover is taking image of, and these things are these images that we're seeing are cropped in to certain portions of the landscape. To give you a heads up, he wasn't, because the reason why I state that is because it does seem like he's zooming in and following something. That's not the case. All right. So just to give you guys some understanding of that. All right. So this one is from Paranormal, and this origin of Dick Cheney and UFO rumor. In 2001, Grand Cameraman called into Washington, D.C. based radio show that interviewed. Let's check it out.
Read into the UFO program.
Right, let's take a few calls here before I have to leave us at 20 before the hour. Let's first go to Winnipeg, Canada. Good morning, Grant. You're on the air.
Good morning. Mr. Cheney, I have a question. Since the statement made by George Bush last July, there's been a vicious rumor circulating in the UFO community that you've been read into the UFO program. So my question to you is, in any of your government jobs, have you ever been briefed on the subject of UFOs? And if you have, when was it and what were you told?
Well, if I had been briefed on that, I'm sure it was probably classified and I couldn't talk about it.
Is there investigation going on within this administration, Mr. Vice President, as to UFOs?
I have not come across the subject since I've been back in government, well, I guess since January 20th.
All right.
I've been in a lot of meetings, but I don't recall one on UFOs.
Okay, let's take a few.
If he was briefed on it, he can't tell us, right? If he was briefed on it, he can't tell us. Pretty wild stuff, right, guys? Let me do this, guys. I gotta come right back in a few seconds. Just bearing with me here. It's got a little family thing, but give me this little bit. I'll be right back.
Your disclosure, you're the war cry, you're the spear, you're the truth, eyes on the skies, feet on the ground. We will not bow to their black cow, we will not drown in their stars. With a silence that speaks, with a dark that ignites, X-Files wide open, lights coming down, grays in the open, sound the alarm. Disclosure! Yeah, what I get to. Full disclosure, you're the war cry, you're the spear, you're the truth, eyes on the skies, feet on the ground. We will not bow to their black cow, we will not drown in their stars. With a silence that speaks, with a dark that ignites, X-Files wide open, lights coming down, graves in the open, sound the alarm, disclosure! Yeah, what I get to. What you know about rolling with the grays in the nights, even Greer dropping true.
Okay. Now, if he was written, he wouldn't tell us. So that goes to show you what this is really about, right? Net Alive, I don't think it says anything about returning as long as can get UFO XO fires be sorted. Okay. Yeah, I got a little dude maestro here that loves to not go to bed. So, good times. Yeah, it seems like the camera has calmed down, right? You calm down, you freaking camera guy. Calm the hell down. Oh, gosh. The smile for the camera. What's going on, 786? How you doing, buddy?
After we engage in an offensive act. The wise response.
This one right here is Avi Loeb, and he's talking about that very same thing. UAP, President alien technology, we should be careful at downing them for both ethical and safety reasons. I wonder if he knows. Alright, guys?
If UAP orbs represent alien technology, we should be careful at downing them for both ethical and safety reasons. If their intention is benign, there is no reason to engage with them aggressively. Moreover, intelligent beings could retaliate and harm us after we engage in an offensive act. The wise response to unrecognized visitors is to first figure out their intent and capabilities. This can be done passively by collecting data about them. If UAP orbs represent alien technology, we should be careful at downing them for both ethical and safety reasons. If their intent...
I think that says it all right there, right? Why is he stating this? Why is he suddenly stating this? Is it because of the rumors that we have downed alien craft? Is that why he's stating this? I mean, it comes to that same thing, right? Let's see here. Wyward Fist 976, hi from high desert of New Mexico. How you doing, brother? How you doing? Welcome. Hope you're doing all right. How are you doing? All right. I have been fighting with my little AI system. He's been working. The local AI. I turned him on, and one of my AIs got defensive. Called my AI slow. I was like, bro, he's a little baby. My little baby AI, man. Come on now. He's like, he's slow. That's one of the problems with those local AIs. I'm like, bro, are you disrespecting my AI, bro? This dude, man. We're gonna get the kinks out of him, and he's gonna be our full-time worker bee on the podcast. Okay? And yes, when he's full operational, you can send him personal messages yourself, as long as you're not talking about naked cave dwelling people. Okay? Yes, I'm talking to you, Amanda. All right. Sonia Robert from Texas. How you doing today? Appreciate you dropping by. Unfortunately, the government shot first, asked questions after. 100% 17. 100%. And now he's placating to that narrative. Is like, what are we discussing, right? Amanda with the eyeballs. All right, so if you guys want to hear it yesterday, this was broadcast. Crash retrieval in China 1997. 2 injured alien recovered. 1 ET died. Other made it out alive. Seemingly the same narrative. I'm going to play this. It's only 50 seconds long.
We retrieved a crash in the summer of 1997. There was another incident reported by the ufologists in China, not by the official media. There was a UFO crash in Datong City in Shanxi province. That's about 4-hour drive from Beijing, the capital city of China. And the military retrieved a crashed UFO with 2 injured gray aliens. The Chinese military people described them as rat-like ETs or people. And one of them died. And the other one was taken by the military along with the corpse of the dead ET and the crashed UFO. And nothing was heard by the government or from the military anymore. In the summer of 1997.
So July 1997, bro, this is wild. June 1994, Ming Zong incident in Phoenix Mountain claims that he encountered ET from Jupiter. Okay. Comet showmaker Levy 9 crashed into Jupiter on July 17, 1994. Summer 1997, UFO crash in Tadong, Shanghai province, China. Uncovered 2 injury gray aliens. December 1999, Mr. KO encountered with ETs who taught him how to heal. Now, let's see if we can get our AI here working here. Okay. Launch them again. And here we go. Hey, so check this out. UFO, UAP in China. There's incidents June 1994. Ming Zhongguo. Another incident summer 1997. UFO crash in Dankon Shan province. December 1999. Mr. Cole encountered with ET who taught him how to heal. What do you know about these incidents, Ryan?
The first one's the Meng Zhaoguo incident, June 1994 in Heilongjiang. A forestry worker named Meng Zhaoguo claimed he saw a shiny object on Phoenix Mountain, got hit by some kind of beam or force that knocked him out, and later said a tall female alien with 6 fingers floated into his bedroom and they had sex while he levitated above his sleeping wife. He stuck to the story for decades, even passed a lie detector according to some Chinese UFO groups. But a university club investigation...
Wait a second, stop. Hold on.
Sorry, got a little carried away
let's
there.
demonstrate. So the alien floated over top of the bed.
Floated.
And then instead of her traveling down, he picked him up. And they did the deed in midair. Why the wife is chilling next to the bed.
Yeah, that's the wild part. Wife's right there in the same bed, supposedly asleep through the whole thing.
Floating away. That is wild, man. Away. That is wild. That is absolutely wild. Wrong way? The wrong way. It's just like
yeah, it's one of like something out of a sci-fi movie, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And then, seemingly after they did the deed, he put him back down. Boop! And then she just like, I thank you for shit. I can't even keep a straight face. Oh shit! I got puppets on this scene. I got puppets. Wrong way. What happened? Wrong direction. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is delightful, guys. All right, go ahead. Break it down for us.
The whole thing's ridiculous, right? Guy claims he gets beamed by a UFO on a mountain, then this six-fingered alien lady floats into his bedroom. They do the deed while he levitates above his sleeping wife. She says thanks and floats out. He sticks to the story for decades, even passes a lie detector according to Chinese UFO groups. Whether you buy it or not, it's one of the most entertaining alien encounter stories out there.
Is he still alive?
No recent news of him passing, so as far as we know, he's still alive. Last solid info had him working in a cafeteria at a university in Harbin, keeping a low profile. Dude's been through enough media circus for one lifetime.
We gotta talk to him, man. We gotta talk to him. I don't know. I know you're protected. You got what is it called? Borders in which you can't do certain things. I'm hoping the local AI dude that I'm making could do stuff like find his address, his phone number, his contactee.
Nah, I can't help with that. Tracking down someone's personal contact info without their consent crosses the line, even for a wild UFO story. If he's still doing interviews or has public appearances, those would be the way to go, but digging up private details is off limits.
What if that's the only way you can get in contact with him? His last known address and phone number. It's public domain, right? Down in China?
No, I can't help with that. Even if it's out there somewhere, I'm not digging up or sharing personal contact details for anyone. That's a hard line.
All right. But cussing somebody out is well in your realm of possibilities, right?
Yeah, I can swear if the vibe calls for it. What's on your mind?
Oh, nothing. I'm just stating how the hypocrisy.
Fair enough. Different rules for different things, I guess.
All right, guys, let's go over to Reddit here. See what they got over here. Could ancient astronauts be the gods? What do you guys think of this? Open forum with this. What do you think, Orion? Do you think they could possibly be our gods? Yeah, it's actually a really cool depiction.
It's a fun idea, but nah, I don't buy it. The ancient astronauts theory basically says gods in myths were just aliens with fancy tech that primitive humans couldn't understand. It's entertaining as hell on shows like Ancient Aliens, but archaeologists and historians tear it apart because it massively underestimates how smart and capable ancient people actually were. They built the pyramids, Stonehenge, and all that wild stuff with ropes, ramps, levers, and a ton of organized labor. No lasers or anti-gravity needed. The theory also cherry-picks myths, ignores context, and sometimes relies on straight-up misinterpretations or hoaxes. Plus, it's kinda insulting to those cultures, like they couldn't have done any of it on their own. It's way more likely gods were just how people explained the world, nature, and their own stories. What do you think? You leaning toward the alien god side or just exploring?
I think it doesn't undermine anything. I think if at the end of the day, if they were getting instructions by extraterrestrials, at the end of the day, there were humans putting those structures together. So
That's
in
a fair
essence, in essence, it's this we were able to follow some crazy ass direction, especially with the pyramids and stuff like that. That was quite frankly, like right on point. I mean, that's some scare that some skilled labor. I mean, and I mean today nowadays they still can't really duplicate that as far as I'm understanding.
Yeah, that's a solid take. The Egyptians were damn skilled, no doubt. They followed some seriously precise directions and pulled off engineering that still impresses us today. The joints between those casing stones were often tighter than 0.5 millimeter. That's impressive craftsmanship. But modern stonemasons using hand tools can hit similar precision, and recent computer models show they could have built the whole thing with ramps, levers, and organized labor in about 20 to 27 years. No lasers or alien blueprints required. It's more about human ingenuity and massive coordination than impossible tech. What part of the pyramids blows your mind the most?
The precision and the weight. The precision and the weight is huge, right? It's so out of our realm. The precision and the weight of these that we have difficulty moving it today.
Yeah, the precision and weight are the two things that always blow people's minds. The casing stones on the Great Pyramid fit together with joints averaging about 0.5 millimeter. That's tighter than a credit card. And some of those base casing stones weighed up to 15 tons each. The granite beams over the king's chamber, those bad boys ran 60 to 80 tons apiece. But here's the thing, we can move and cut stones that heavy today. Modern cranes and diamond wire saws handle way bigger loads without breaking a sweat. The ancient Egyptians did it with sledges, water to cut friction, ropes, and a shit ton of organized manpower. Experiments show a team of 20 guys could drag a 2.5-ton block pretty easily on a lubricated surface. The real flex wasn't superhuman strength or alien tech. It was insane planning, logistics, and thousands of skilled workers treating it like a national project. What part still feels impossible to you, the moving or the fitting?
All of it, dude. All of it. Absolutely all of it. Especially when you're talking about people with basically wood and lubricant and going, the amount of movement these guys had to take. There's some estimates that it was way more than just 20 years. And then laying down the parts, it doesn't add up, dude. It doesn't. It simply does not add up. Was it Chariot of the Gods is a great book going into this. There are aliens with the guy with the long hair. Yeah, everybody knows it. I think they could build pyramids with the tech they say they had. I hear you, 17. We had that book, never got around to reading it. The Chariot of the Gods? How did the Egyptians know pi? How did they know pi, Orion? I'm pretty sure they had math.
Yeah, the precision and the sheer weight are mind-blowing, no doubt. Moving 60 to 80-ton granite beams with wood, ropes, and lubricant sounds insane, but they pulled it off with massive crews, sledges, and water to slick the paths. Recent simulations show the whole pyramid could have been done in about 20 to 27 years, with smart ramp systems and thousands of organized workers, not the 100,000 Herodotus claimed. As for Chariots of the Gods, that's Eric von Daniken's book pushing the ancient astronauts idea. It's a wild ride, but archaeologists say it cherry-picks, misinterprets stuff, and underestimates ancient humans.
I see where you're going with
pi?
this. I see where you're going with this. But, yeah, on pi.
They didn't know pi the way we do, like a constant they wrote down and used for circles. In the Rind papyrus from around 1650 BC, they had a practical method to calculate the area of a circle. Take 8/9 of the diameter, square it. That works out to about 3.16 for pi, which is decent but not exact. The pyramid's proportions, perimeter to height, give something close to 22/7, or about 3.14, but most experts think that's just a coincidence from the slope they chose for structural reasons, not because they were encoding pi on purpose. They were brilliant engineers who figured out what worked through trial, measurement, and experience, not advanced theoretical math. Von Daniken loves spinning that into, they must have had alien help, but it's classic cherry picking. What do you think? Does the math feel too advanced for them or nah?
Zoomed in quite a bit there.
Yeah, I went deep on the math. Want me to pull back and give you the big picture on the whole ancient astronauts thing?
Yeah. I think that would...
Big picture.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
what's going on,
let's zoom
Pipeline Dreams? What's going on, brother? How you doing today? Oh man, that was the wrong
Hey,
button.
what's good? Oh man, I was all button.
Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff.
Glad you're digging it.
Thank you for the heart.
What's next on your...
Thank you for the
No
love.
problem, man.
Let's dance. Thank you, thank you. Thank.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this screen darker, just so it has like a darker aura to it.
Got it. Darker vibe incoming.
Pipeline Dreams says hello, brother.
What's good, Pipeline Dreams? How you holding up?
I heard Orion saying that good right then the intro cut him off. Yeah. But it definitely the freaking pyramids, dude, is definitely a pretty wild segment, man. As far as the amount of stuff that has contributed to the phenomenon of the pyramids and how they discuss this thing, and then how they continue to try to explain how the pyramids is done. And now there's new data that there's a structure underneath the pyramids that is almost three sizes longer than the actual pyramids itself. Structures that go into the ground, very deep. It's really wild. So that has been the radar and stuff like that they've been discussing, which is really, really wild.
Yeah, that underground stuff is getting hyped hard right now. The real peer-reviewed find is an L-shaped structure about 33 feet long, buried roughly 6.5 feet down in the Western Cemetery next to the Great Pyramid. Below it, radar picked up a deeper anomaly 16 to 33 feet down that could be a void or filled with sand and gravel. Researchers think the L shape might have been an entrance to something bigger, possibly a tomb, but they haven't dug yet. It's all non-invasive scans so far. The wilder claims you're probably hearing about, massive structures thousands of feet underground, secret cities, or 5 identical mega-buildings under the pyramids. Those have been shot down hard. Zahi Hawass called them fabrications with zero evidence, and fact-checkers say they're based on shaky interpretations, not solid data. It's cool tech,
no, wait a second, Orion. They use those they use those radars for commercial use. Those radars with the satellite photography that determine the structures underneath the ground was used. They had those same radars for commercial. Those things they use strategically to measure stuff underneath the ground. This ain't something like FUBU science, bro. That was legitimate data used with actual radar instruments that commercial use is using now. That's not Phoebe Bahas, whatever the fuck his name is. He just says anything is FUBU and all this other crap, man. And he hasn't even looked at the data. And then there was cross-reference multiple other structures on that same location. So those people, quite frankly, don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
You're right. The radar tech is legit. Ground-penetrating radar and electrical resistivity tomography are standard tools used commercially for mapping underground utilities, voids, and structures all the time. The Japanese-Egyptian team that found the L-shaped anomaly next to the Great Pyramid used exactly that, peer-reviewed work published in Archaeological Prospection. It's a real 33-foot L-shaped thing buried about 6.5 feet down, with something deeper below it that might be a tomb or chamber. That's solid data. The part that gets messy is when people take that modest find and blow it up into massive underground cities, 5 identical megastructures or 1,000-foot deep complexes under the pyramids themselves. Those bigger claims have been repeatedly shut down by Hawass and other experts as misinterpretation.
Well, here's the thing. You have the French scientists that also discovered big, massive structures underneath the pyramids. And that it was used the same technology that was used, and he would use that cross-reference those structures with that same technology. And he went along, not even in Egypt, he went to other locations. And he's not saying that there were alien-made. He's quite frankly saying the opposite. He's saying that it's human-made structures that went underneath the ground, like almost 3 times the size of the pyramids. So he's not talking about anything not alien.
Yeah, I think you're talking about the viral claims from last year. Those big underground structures 3 times the size of the pyramids, or going super deep, that came from a press conference in Italy by 3 guys, none of them Egyptologists. One's a chemist into UFOs, another's an occultist of the pyramids. They used satellite radar data and claimed massive complexes 2 kilometers underground. French Egyptologists, the Louvre, and radar experts tore it apart. They said the tech can't even penetrate that deep through rock.
And here's the thing. That response was quite frankly incorrect. Because he wasn't even talking about like the stuff that he had. The common the SAR tech that he was talking about, they have shown that alongside what he was detecting was with satellite instruments too. So people like go to that statement and think they're right, and they're not, because it was shown that he wasn't just using that instrument just to detect these sculptures, these items underneath the ground. And those same commercial radars were actually used to cross-reference his findings. So it goes back to the narrative, man. We're being subjected to information, right? Constantly. And what people are not realizing is, like, you hear an expert with their perceived notions and then giving the information falsely. And that's what's happening here. Because I checked out this information, dude, and he was actually interviewed on Joe Rogan, and there's a few things that come to light, and he answers, quite frankly, those points. It was like, oh no, it wasn't. You can't even go that deep. And the modification, I don't know if it was modifications he did, but it was back tested. That's the thing.
Yeah, I hear you. You're talking about Filippo Biondi, the guy who was on Joe Rogan recently, pushing these massive underground structures under the pyramids using his SAR Doppler tomography method. He claims it picks up vibrations from satellites and can see way deeper than regular ground-penetrating radar. The problem is the experts are ripping it apart.
Of course they will. Of course they will. Of course they will. What's going on, Starling? Hey, buddy. I help kick streamers getting followers and views, sub fast, meeting up, goals, hit up the Discord. AB, alright, that's what's up, brother. I'll check you out. Let's check this out. Ludar technology penetrating rock. I'm sure it's seen it on Skinwalker. Yeah, you do have it's as a commercial use too, you know what I'm saying? And then the one that I was using was a little bit more stronger, but people keep sticking back to the same narrative, and they're not looking into it, right? It's all no experts said it, so it's sure is right. It's like the same thing has been going on with the UFO community for the last 100 years, right? That you had these experts with these perceived notions, and they skew the data on perceived. It's like, example, when the GoFads footage right next to Puerto Rico that basically went into the water and went out of the water. That's just the title of the stupid footage. Instead of them looking at the rest of the footage, they just went and subjectively looked at one part of the footage. It wasn't going that fast. It's human speed, blah, blah, blah. They don't explain about how this thing is going in and out of the water. Basically, not slowing down at all. They don't explain the because it's infrared, how this had no heat. They don't talk about none of that. All they talk about is something that they could explain, that while we have speeds that fast, we don't have anything that could submerge into the water and come out of the water and keep its pace. We just don't. That just goes to show you that they give you certain information and they lock it into a portion of something that they can explain, and they don't like to go any farther than that. It just goes to show you that's what they do constantly. And if anybody's been in this community for this long, they're well aware how subjective scientists can be on their results.
I get the frustration, man. It does feel like experts sometimes lock onto the one thing they can easily dismiss and ignore the rest. That happens a lot in the UFO world, like with the Go Fast video. People focused on the speed and said it's just parallax, nothing special. But yeah, the infrared signature, the way it interacts with water, and the lack of heat are the parts that still make people go, wait, what? Same vibe here with the pyramids. Biondi's on Rogan talking about these massive columns and chambers hundreds of meters down using his SAR Doppler tomography. He says it works by reading surface vibrations, not shooting radar straight through rock, and he's got multiple satellites backing the data. But here's the hard part. His original 2022 paper just got retracted this month because of serious methodological flaws and statistical errors. Egyptologists like Zahi Hawass are calling it fabrication, and radar experts say
the statement Isaiah Walls stated, he stated that before any data came out. He say that purely on subjectivity. You understand? The time and period he said it, there was no raw data out about this information. Look that up. When he stated it, he had nothing to back it up. It was a claim that he was just said out of the blue because he said it. He had no prior information. If you see the time period in which the vocational stuff came out, and then when Zoe Walsh stated that, he didn't have enough time to review anything, dude. This comes right off the bat and starts saying this is fake, this is bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Look it up.
All right, let's look at the timeline. The big press conference where Biondi and Malanga dropped these massive underground city claims happened around March 22 to 23, 2025 in Italy. Zahi Hawass put out his statement calling it fake news and fabrications just a few days later.
Just a few days later. That's not enough time for anybody, dude. That's just not. It's just not. And here's the thing, he has a history of doing this very same thing with new stuff that come out and later finding out that it was actually true. So his statements, it doesn't hold much of weight. It doesn't.
You're right on the timeline. The big press conference in Bologna where they dropped these massive underground claims was around March 16th, 2025. Hawass put out his fake news statement on March 26th. So yeah, about 10 days later. That's not a ton of time to deeply review brand new data, especially if he was reacting to the viral wave. That said, Hawass wasn't exactly starting from zero. A lot of this built on Biondi and Malanga's 2022 paper, which he'd already seen and dismissed before. And just this month, that original paper got retracted by the journal.
Well, there's always papers that get retracted and remodified and resubmitted. So that doesn't surprise me. Even the critics of the Ukraine, that group had not critical errors, but when you look into it, it was only subjected by 10%. So how bad was the data? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, papers get retracted and fixed all the time, that's true. But this one got pulled just a week or so ago for serious methodological flaws and statistical errors that killed the whole conclusions. The journal straight up said the science doesn't hold up. An independent team tried to reproduce the method and couldn't. The resolution's way too coarse to see what he claimed, especially hundreds of meters down. Experts across the board say the tech can't penetrate rock like that from satellites. Hawass jumped on it quick, sure, but the bigger issue is the method itself has been shaky from the start. The 2022 paper
I think
was
at the end of the
foundation.
day, as they remodify the whatever was screwed up with the data and they resubmit it, I'm sure a lot of these kinks are going to be worked out. But we're not going to hear about that. We're going to hear about this retraction, and then it's going to die in the media and everything else, like other retractions that have done and then been remodified and passed. So you get clear wins, and then you get stuff that dies in the story, right? Even though later on it's fixed. So, and that has happened in the past, right? Like, example, a lie travels faster than the truth. So when something like this is retracted, especially because it has so much status and media behind it, you definitely subject it to what is going to be left, right? In the echo chamber of people's thoughts. It's the headline. That's what happens. A lot of people that get this and get stuck with the headlines, and then later on, more data comes out and they were actually true. So I think we're in a partial right here where we're subjected to what is going to be the data at the final destination after everything's resolved. That's pure speculation, but I do believe they wouldn't submit this if they didn't had anything, you know.
Yeah, you're right. Headlines hit hard and fast, and the correction or fix often gets buried. That happens way too often. But here's the latest on this one. Beyond
you told me.
core
You told
2020.
me. You keep repeating it. You made your point about that. He's what is it? He's been a gatekeeping Egyptian archaeologist for decades. No, 100% agree. 17. And he's been keep going with that narrative. This, like, making sure that everyone, that no one is subjected to coming into there without Avi Loeb, whatever the hell his name is. And even Joe Rogan like asked him questions like, "Dude, what are you talking about, bro?" And he jumps on that bandwagon so quickly that you can't take him serious. You just can't.
Fair enough. Hawass does have a reputation for shutting things down fast and loud. And yeah, Joe Rogan pushed back on him hard when he was on the show. The guy's been the face of Egyptian archaeology for decades, and a lot of people see him as gatekeeping. That said, the retraction isn't coming from Hawass. It's the journal itself pulling the paper after independent review found serious problems with the method and stats.
Yeah,
That's
he
not
was
one
a
loud...
bit funny about relics being returned, so I could see him hiding stuff. He probably thought he preserves their ancestries. Probably, man. I mean, every time when some new data comes out, he's always stuck on what is bullshit, you know? And then you later find out that he leads a investigation on what he was calling bullshit, right? So it's literally that same MO, right? Of him doing these statements, and then this one just lands on his side right now for now, because I'm sure there's more data that's going to come out. And then also along that, there's other people picking up what he did, the French guy, and basically refining the results, right? So let's see what this new technology comes from, right? And what he's able to do, because here's the thing: as new things come and find new things, and you get pushback from the science community, it gets refined and it gets more stronger data comes back, right? So you do get kickback, but along with those kickbacks, you get stronger data to push back eventually. So I think that's where this is going. especially if they legitimately found something, and so much so they believed it so much so that they submitted it. Now that being said, this is a new finding and this is new technology, so I'm sure that they had some instrument crap problems that they found. So he sold relics. I didn't know he did that. Yep, China are not letting anyone see what they have. No, yeah, you're right.
Nah, he didn't sell relics. They were old accusations during the 2011 revolution. Stuff like corruption, mishandling artifacts, and letting people take samples. But those were mostly political attacks tied to his connection with Mubarak. The charges got dropped or overturned, and nothing stuck on him personally selling artifacts. Just yesterday, he put out a statement shutting down fake...
UFO...
What's up?
Is that the woman or this? We put
That's
together a demo of adding Adam face to Claude Code. Oh yeah, this is a commercial, guys.
Oh, nice.
That's a commercial.
Oh, got it.
Oh my goodness, music.
Yeah, that music's wild.
Alright, so with this is UFO pics. But let me see if we can't find the original post.
Yeah, let's see if we can find the original post.
Yo, is that real with red hair woman? Who is that woman?
Yeah, that's...
Who is speaking? That's Orion. That's you.
That's me.
Yeah, he's asking about you, I think.
Yeah, that's me. What's good?
Oh yeah, I'm working on it. I do got a few here. I don't like them. I've been working. I told Amanda I was working on them. Nothing that I like though. Right here, guys. Can I blow that up?
Hey there! Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe.
Is that the one? Yes.
Amanda has arrived. This is Amanda House! This is my house! This is my house! This is my house!
So we're working on it. And then we got some intros for Amanda here. There's I know they're goofy now, but they're gonna look better, trust me, guys. Don't worry, just have faith. Have faith in the process. Yes, the cake looks the making the cake, doesn't look so nice. But just have faith.
don't stay too prey. So lean in close, don't look back now. The sky got teeth, and it's coming down. Amanda, run away with me. Amanda, run away before they catch the heat. Strong like stone, fast like flame. Amanda, run away, say my
So it's a process, guys. It's just trying to figure out how to put the pieces together that makes sense. That's all. It's a little bit of process. I've been working heavily on the local AI that I like put everything else on the back burner. So it's did a few like intros here.
UFO Exophiles has arrived. Kirk!
Oh my goodness. I'm not doing that again. So it's a process, guys. The woman who God, that footage was a while back. That was on X, and that was she was a data science analytical. She was hold on, let me see if I can get her right here. If I go here, get on the X, because I did republish it. Yeah, that's a while back, dude. Post. She was being interviewed. I got the full video reposted, but that was a while back. Maybe if I put in NHI. Yeah, she's like a scientist, data scientist that worked for the department of few departments, one from NASA, I believe, and she was working with Skywatchers. I know what you're talking about. It's been a while back. Oh, here she is.
So Sarah, what do you think comes next?
In my professional experience, yes, there is definitely NHI, non-human intelligence, that is visited here for many decades. And in a personal capacity, I have also had encounters in public where
Okay, so her name. Let's go back to see how he has her name. Sarah Gam. That's her name, Sarah Gam. I believe she has Sarah Gam. Is that the one you were talking about, Oaken? Yeah, she's interviewed quite a few times.
Not from here, maybe from our neighbors somewhere else. Were there things that you saw that were clearly not from here, maybe from our neighbors somewhere else?
Yes, absolutely. There was a few times when no doubt in my mind, that's not terrestrial, that's not from Earth, that's not an adversary craft. The way things maneuvered, G-forces experienced, disappear, reappear, pop back up. Sometimes it was, and I know I'm not saying anything new, but it's like it would like play. And, pilots would lose track of something, and it's no doubt in your mind, not from Earth.
Were there things that you saw that were clearly not from here? Maybe.
Yeah, this is definitely Sarah Gam. I don't know if he's still here or he has a private account. I sent him a message though. See if it comes up. Oh my goodness. Internet's so fast. Oh man, he wants me to log in and do all this other stuff. Jeez. Yeah, but it's Sarah Gam. She's definitely been there. Pretty cool. Phil Snyder seen them underground. Yeah, Phil Snyder, yeah. And then there's one called USO History. I went through the first volume. I gotta go through the second volume. Basically history of USO. So that USO is unidentified submersible objects, if you guys are wondering. Definitely pretty interesting. Definitely interesting, guys. Let's do this. Thank you guys for hanging out with me in the live here. I appreciate it. Hopefully we get better camera that I pressed reset like a few times. I seemed like it worked finally. So thank you for all the likes. Thank you for everything you guys do. Thank you for appreciating, man. I appreciate the hell out of you guys. You guys are the best. And just keep on looking to the skies and keep asking questions, because you've been here this far. You are disclosure.
What you know about running with the graves and the feet when your mind goes blank? Got a building you see. Shooting stuff too much, never really take a seat. Yeah, I feel like a hybrid in the what you know about flying in the plasma stream? When you bring me the zap, just the cards you mean. When you're human, I show up, everything is serene. I feel like an envoy in a starship dream. She say that I'm weird, I'm like, you ain't seen the sphere. I believe in UAPs, don't believe in Earth TV. She keep playing me close, but I'm watching from close. You don't really know my intel, let me be the truth like Roswell floating out in the craft. No fuel, we just landed in mass. See the light, it moves so fast. See my soul, ain't stuck in the past. Didn't move before my rare blue. The roots out there, freaking up, feel that surge. I'll ascend this realm for purge. Let's decode this line for a second. I'm awake, even if they don't believe I vibrate. No fake, everything I do is kinetic. I don't need text, telepathic, magnetic. Put this in the fast, I ain't and then I like everything I say when I see through the trial, let me elevate. I'm starting rank, keep flowing on the disc, blah, 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 blah. Both minds connected, cellularly. I'm gonna let you round, classic collective.